Going on, guys? I was watching this video. This guy was talking about object-oriented programming in C, and I found something very interesting that ChatGPT actually helped me figure out. And we'll get to that in a moment. So right here, we have something pretty basic setup. Something, we're gonna mimic what we would see in Java or C++. I'm actually not very familiar with C++, so I'll be referencing Java, but this is kind of like Java. You have like an animal class, for example. Right here, we just have a function inside the class. So we'll use a function pointer for that. And then we're going to create the cow class, or the cow struct. And you'll notice the animal base is sitting at the first offset, I believe is what I want to say. We could just say the first element in the struct is the base, right? And then we have an eat method for the animal. So the animal can eat any animal that inherits, any animal that inherits animal. So yeah, so like a cow can eat. We have an animal constructor here that takes in as a parameter a animal pointer, and this will return an animal pointer as well. Here we just assign the eat function to this, right? So very basic stuff. And then in here we have a new cow constructor, or just whatever you want to call it. We return a cow pointer. So for here we allocate some memory for the cow. Here is just a dummy parameter, just like to test if my theory was correct when I discovered this. So you'll see here I'm casting, this is the very interesting part that I discovered, I'm casting an animal pointer to this this cow pointer right here, right? So you'll notice, going back to what I said before, that the animal base sits inside of the cow structure in the first offset. So in the beginning of the structure, this being here makes these two compatible. These two can be casted together without having conflicts because of this being here. If I were to have this here, this would not work. Shoot, 1 second. This would not work because now these cannot be casted. These are incompatible. Obviously, an animal cannot be casted to an integer, right? But with this being here, or obviously a cow cannot be casted to an integer. Sorry. I think that's, I got it confused. Anyways, this can be confusing, but just know that these two are compatible since they lie at the same memory address. Yes, folks, that is the same memory address because these two, since this is the first element in this structure, or this class, whatever you want to call it, these two have the same memory address. I had it way better in my head, but you get the point. I can also do something like this instead of returning the cow, the cow pointer directly. I can, just explicitly say right here, I want to cast a cow pointer to this animal because this returns an animal, right? This is not like there, but, this returns an animal pointer. And I can cast these two. These are, compatible. So that being said, I can also do this here since, we are going to provide it an animal, which in this case is our cow. We're going to cast it to an animal pointer. Very simple stuff. I didn't know about this actually until today, I'm going to be honest. So yeah, it's very cool. And I really personally don't think it's like, the best practice to be practicing OOP in a procedural language like this. If you're going to do that, just go to C++. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's stopping you? Or just code Java at that point. But I don't know. I feel like this is, something cool to know about. I'm glad I'm not confused about it anymore. And I'm glad I could share this with you guys if anybody else finds this useful. I know I yapped a bunch about it, but it was very hard to understand at first. So I'm just putting it together in words for the first time since I discovered it. And yeah, this is very cool, yeah. So just remember that this has to be first. If I were to put this here, you'll see, like I'll run this now, it runs fine. Since, down here we're calling the eat method. And then obviously make sure to free your cow for memory at the end of your program. But if I were to, oh, shoot, sorry about that. If I were to come here and put this here, now when I run it, I think it will segfault, right? Yeah, so that's how that works, because you're trying to cast incompatible types, and that's causing a conflict. And yeah, guys, I really hope this helped. Thank you.